All right, so what's going on here? What have we got besides bad lighting and bad sound? Well, we've got a video of me doing a little investigation about a new amp design. The amp itself is patented, or at least part of the circuit, the way it's functioned. It's designed to deliver something that is missing from the amp world today. If I could say anything about it, as I understand what's going on, besides the circuit itself, is it has a system which can be attenuated down to 1/1000th of a watt and still deliver the tone you look for. The mysterious and the holy grail of a bedroom volume amp. Sounds pretty intriguing, right? So I dragged my butt into Manhattan, where one of these amps, or prototype, exists at a pretty well-known local, one of the few local, oh, by the way, here we go, we've got Double Nickel IPA, Pennsauken, New Jersey. It has got, let's see, the ratings, 8% alcohol by volume. Nice. And an 88, what the hell they call it? IBU. That's some sort of hoppy, bitter thing. I don't know. I don't know if higher is better, or I don't know if it's like golf, or if it's nice. It's a nice little beer. Anyway, so where were we? Oh, we're in Chelsea. Chelsea Guitars. Dan's Chelsea Guitars in the infamous Hotel Chelsea in actually the same building. So I dragged myself in there to see and play the amp. Well, as you'll see, fall a little short on maybe the most important part of this whole adventure, which is, how does this thing sound? Well, I'll explain it broadly, but hopefully the rest of the video that I've got will capture why I did not play the guitar, because the Hotel Chelsea is going through some renovation right now, and actually, for a while there, the Dan's Guitars may not have been able to survive, but it is now, it was a small place to begin with. I got in there when they first opened the doors for the day on a Saturday in July, and it was incredibly hot. And also, why call ahead? They weren't prepared to test an amp. The amp hasn't been plugged in a while. And you'll hopefully the video will show we're talking about literally the width of a table, the whole place. I could probably touch each wall, packed with guitars, awesome guitars. But the amp is sitting there, not a cabinet in sight really to easily plug this thing into and try. And at that point, I wasn't. If all I would do is sweat on a guitar, I'd probably ruin some 1957 country gentleman that I was plugging into it or whatever. So anyway, but I got some information. We got some video of the amp. Great guy there, Matt, working the place, sitting in the corner kind of thing. Someone else came in the meantime. So all that. So sit tight and see if I can cobble together something that is meaningful and helpful to learn a little bit about the amp, perhaps learn a little bit about the maker, and then learn about my lack of tolerance for heat. Okay, so here I am walking up to the infamous Chelsea Hotel, where the ghosts of the dead and the living still roam the halls. Underneath there is Dan's Chelsea Guitars, and in Dan's Chelsea Guitars is the Relentless Amp, hopefully. Dan's Chelsea Guitars itself is pretty famous. One of the few left in the city that are kind of a mom and pop. You know, it's not a big corporation. A lot of great guitars. It's a small place to begin with, and as you've seen, the Chelsea Hotel, the Hotel Chelsea, is under construction, And actually, Dan was maybe having to be thrown out, but somehow they stayed in there, but they had to squeeze things even more, which you'll see as we head in. All right, perfect timing. Just opened the doors. It's about 12:20. Rock and roll time.
Friend, I don't really know him that well, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, is he a young guy? Have you seen him ever?
He's like, probably 45 or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, can I take a closer look? Pull the stuff off of it. I'll do it. I mean, it's up to you. That's cool. This has been sitting here for 10 years?
Something like that, yeah. I think so. I mean, it's been back and forth, but...
Yeah, okay. And it'd be too much of a bitch to hook it to anything. And I get it. I don't... When's the last time it was ever hooked to anything?
No, not long ago. I mean, because our store normally doesn't look like this. It's because we lost like 4 feet of the back of our store.
Yeah, you guys are always packed to begin with, but now...
There's a little more space.
Yeah, there you go. Here, go ahead. You go in. I'll talk to Marilyn. Yeah, figured. Typical. She's got nothing to say to me. All right, so in this next clip, just to clarify, in the front, you've got your typical assortment of controls. You've got a presence, middle treble, and bass. Looks like maybe a fat switch. I actually didn't look close enough what that was right there. A volume knob, and a bright switch, I think. So on the back, the round control is the attenuator, is what the guy at the store said. So it's not a master volume, it's the attenuation. It's a continuous roll, so it isn't like switchable from 1/2 watt to 5 to 8 or whatever it is. So what we were saying was, the guy that was in the store was asking about it. Oh, you can, adjust that. Well, I guess it kind of works the same way. You can crank the volume on the front, which is probably an stage 1 and 2 volume, I'm guessing. Maybe we can get clarification on that. And obviously you can, rail out the preamp and then attenuate it accordingly. Kind of works like a master volume amp would work. However, as purported, this is an attenuation that does not affect the tone, like even a post phase inverter master volume still affects tone to one degree or another, even though it's purported not to affect it as much. Anyway, and the rumbling, it's sunny out, but rumbling. Anyway, so hopefully that clarifies what was shown there. All right, if it didn't, well, I got to go back there anyway. I'm in Jersey now, but this guy Mike is out in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
All right. So P, I'm guessing, is presence. Civilette is the name. Treble, middle, bass. Single in, a volume, a bright switch, phase, polarity, standby, and the power's on the back, right? All right. I mean, that's your normal accoutrement.
Yep.
All right, but supposedly actually the output tubes are the 2 smaller tubes, right? This is actually a cathode follower output. We'll see. It's supposed to sound exactly the same at whisper quiet as it does cranked out. So, but it sounds great right now. It's quiet as hell.
Yeah.
It's dusty as hell. All right, cool. All right, I appreciate it, and I'll just call ahead one day and say, hey, you know what? I want to check this thing out. Maybe I'll even bring in a guitar to do it, so I've got my own familiarity.
Totally feel free.
All right, cool. You can't recall hearing it, or?
I mean, this is like the really early one, so I know he used like lower quality parts on it and stuff.
Okay.
Because he was just basically like using what he could find.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's how it all starts, right?
So this one, it's a little bit on the noisy side. Also, because of the electricity in this building itself being so old that they haven't finished replacing
You mean
it all.
here, down here in Manhattan, you don't have wonderfully filtered, regulated power?
Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. So it's a little bit on the noisier side, but the attenuator works. Like, it totally works.
That's what it's. This one's called the continuator.
The attenuator on the back.
Oh, the attenuator.
The
Oh, so that's the attenuator. Yeah. The knob on the back is an attenuator. It's a continuous attenuator. It looked like.
I mean, it goes from about like half a watt to 8 watts, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, how much can you push on that output stage? But yeah, okay. So this is because I feel it's not notch. It's not as if take your choice.
Your grip with that.
That's basically just volume. So you could have it maxed all the way up and have that down at half a watt, so that it's
clean.
Yeah, there's no master.
Really, turn that up. If you turn it in the front all the way up,
there's no master. So it's everything is just out of that one volume. I'm guessing it's in just after the first stage or however.
Yeah, I'm not an amp guy, so.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, and this is actually I kind of.
When we made the cabinet.
Yeah, it looks like it was something that used to be in a kitchen.
Yeah, like a bread box.
Okay, well, there it is. But that's cool. I like that. This actually looks like the backdrop of my parents' house out in Queens.
Like the wood paneling.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
All right, well, thanks for your time and your help.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely. Did you get a card? Did I give you a card?
Yeah, I got it, yep. All right, cool. I'll check out ahead of time.
Yeah, just if
and
you
I'll
just give
bring
me a
the
heads
guitar
up.
maybe. I mean, obviously you've got some awesome.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome guitars in here.
If you give me a heads up, then I can have everything set up for you.
That's a newer Firebird one, right?
Yeah, that's one of the new Joe Bonamassa ones.
Ah, as if he doesn't have enough going on. He's also got a Firebird. Bless you, a Firebird.
Yeah, and he did the Flying V right behind it too.
Yeah, of course. And he just fell into his lap a absolutely under the bed 57 Les Paul Gold Top. Literally as if it walked out of the store. Oh well.
Guy that worked for my father-in-law. He had a barber shop up in Pennsylvania. He had a 59 Les Paul under the bed with a Bigsby, 3 pickups and a Bigsby.
Oh man, so it was a custom.
Yeah, and he sold it long enough, maybe 20 years ago, that he got a lot of, he got like 49,000 or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Now it's down.
Now, yeah, the market's gone up and down. I mean, it actually wasn't all that long ago. Those 3 pickup customs, the depending on the year, I think 57 was the first they came out with that.
Yeah.
But into 60, you used to get them for 10 grand, kind of thing, and then it went out of control.
Yeah, he was lucky. He sold it at the right time.
All right, well, boys, talk to y'all later, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, cool, man. Like I said, we should hopefully I'll be at least close to back up and running by Tuesday. So if you just want to, hit me up and then let me know. I'll try to have all this stuff set up. Cool. Also, you should definitely be here when my boss is here because he knows Mike and he knows about the amp a lot more than I do.
And that's during the week usually, I'm guessing?
Yeah, like I said, if you can just give me a heads up, then I'll call him up and say, hey, this guy's going to... What's your name again? I'm sorry?
Steve.
Steve, Matt.
Yeah.
So I'll just tell him that you wanted to come by and check the amp out.
All right, cool. All right. Not much I can do. We're not going to plug it in.
You wanted to just...
I'll arrange it some other time. Interesting. 2-pronger on there. We've got a knob on the back. Is this I wonder what that is. I don't know if that's bias. This could be power.
I mean, you could come before that if you wanted to.
Speaker jack?
We're usually here Monday I'll be here from say 10 o'clock.
The top in the dust.
5 or 6, and then,
I can see 2 12A question mark tubes there. I think we know what this circuit is. The cathode follower output section. Got a lot of trannies. And not just because we're in Chelsea. Did I see that?
Alright.
So to conclude, the conclusion is I need to go back. I'll call them ahead of time when it makes sense. I don't know when that's going to be. My schedule's up and down of when I go in and out of Manhattan. I'm outside of Manhattan in Jersey. I'm actually originally from New York, but I absconded with my soul and came to New Jersey. We got trees, see that? So that's the conclusion, is interesting. It's certainly an interesting looking amp. It's been there a while. It's dusty. It looks like all original parts. if I were to give a brief review of what I saw so far, it's a home-cooked amp, which is fine. We've all cooked amps at homes to one degree or another. The guy at the store said a really funny thing in the middle of it. And I was asking about the builder, and yes, what's he like? It's a fair question, right? He said, he's an amp builder. All amp guys are weird. He goes, that's why I know I'm not weird. This is him saying that. He's saying, I know nothing about amps. Well, you amp guys, you're a little weird. So, tough to argue with that, right? So, fair enough. But otherwise, it looks like, an early attempt at putting together an amp with what you had around. We've all done it. Well, I've done it. Maybe not all of us, but, you got trannies around. You buy something or you find something here and there. You slap together some capacitors and some resistors. You fashion a board from... you look around and can you fashion a rudimentary lathe to kill the Gorn, right? You gotta shove you gotta take that bamboo, you gotta make some gunpowder, you gotta shove it in there, throw the diamonds, and you gotta kill the Gorn. I mean, you use what you got around there. You gotta kill the Gorn. Wow, that was really geeky. Anyway, so that's my conclusion. I mean, I'm still very interested, and certainly I think these things, if this is the first of them all, or one of the early ones, I mean, we'll see how it sounds. I don't know what else to say. I thought actually the amp cabinet, the little cabinetry was kind of cool. It was dusty. I'm dusty. Everything gets dusty, right?